Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
There's a conflagration brewing in the largest state in the nation. California Governor Gavin Newsom has been widely criticized for his heavy-handed response to the pandemic, particularly with angry parents across the state demanding that their kids be let back into public schools. And now there's a serious effort underway to kick Newsom right out of office through a recall effort, which appears to be gaining steam. Joining us to discuss is our man on the ground in L.A., LibertyNation.com's own Pernell Bird, who's been writing extensively about the pandemic and the vaccine and how it's all played out in the Golden State. Pernell, welcome back. It's been too long.
Good morning, Tim. It's great to be here, and we're here to discuss one of my favorite subjects, the good Gavin Newsom, our governor.
Well, first off, let's get to the basics. Who's running the recall effort? How many signatures are needed for a recall to make it onto the ballot? And how close do you believe the recall organizers are to reaching that goal? And also explain to us how it would work from there if they do get enough signatures.
Right. Well, this was a grassroots conservative effort from the start, but it's gained so much steam and there's so much antipathy for the governor at this point that even some Democrats are starting to jump on board. They need 1.5 million signatures by March 17th. Last word is that by February 10th, they had 1.4. Those signatures do have to be verified, Tim. And once they're verified, there could be a recall election as early as, middle of the summer. And on that ballot, voters will just very simple ballot. They'll be either approve or reject. If they approve, then they are approving the recall, but they're also effectively voting for the person that gets the highest number of votes on the same ballot. And that person will replace Governor Gavin Newsom as the governor of California.
Now, you've written a lot on LibertyNation.com about the COVID vaccines, including their reliability, but also the situation in California, which is hardly boosting Governor Newsom's popularity. What's the problem with vaccinations in the nation's largest state?
Newsom up to this point has sort of shirked any questions about the recall, and he's pivoted to always discussing the vaccine rollout. The state of California has blamed the federal government, I assume that's the previous administration, for an insufficient supply. But the Fed has shipped and delivered 4.7 million doses of the vaccines. The problem is that California to date has only been able to administer 1.8 million of those 4.7. And a lot of that has to do with just the bureaucracy of it, Tim. There's a lot of vaccines that are sitting in freezers. And recently, I think the state acknowledged that the rollout has been incredibly slow, the slowest in the country, they're saying, and that they need to take measures. So they recently announced that Blue Shield would take over to coordinate delivery statewide and speed up the process.
Now, Pernell, you and I have our own points of view on the beliefs and governance of Gavin Newsom, but what about rank and file Californians who don't pay attention to politics like we do? Give us a sense, as best you can, of the pulse on the ground regarding this governor and the things he's done that led to this recall effort.
Well, look, he's a very charismatic politician. He's highly photogenic. He's one of the favorites in the Democratic Party to eventually take the White House. So those things certainly work in his favor. He had, Tim, he had over 60% support for his governorship and the way he was running the pandemic back in September. That has fallen to 46%. So now a majority of people in California disapprove of the job that the governor's doing. And I'm not going to lie to you, he's made some missteps. Um, I think what really this recall effort, and there have been plenty of them, but this one really got the wind beneath its wings in November when the governor was caught at a fancy Napa Valley restaurant called French Laundry. I mean, it's one of the most expensive restaurants in the country. He was there with 11 other people. And, in the before times, as I call them, that would in no way be shocking. But Newsom had mandated lockdowns, social distancing, masking. He had closed small businesses and restaurants across the state. And here he was enjoying, basically flouting all of his own rules at this incredibly expensive restaurant. So it was a black eye. It was not a good look. And he, right after that, the recall effort really sort of, I call it Frankensteined back to life, because it had stalled. And those poor optics for the governor really got the electorate upset. A lot of people were experiencing, privation and not being able to leave their homes. And here was the governor sort of, flouting his own laws. And by the way, Tim, it looked to be that he was breaking his own rule that he set for Thanksgiving, which was to wear a mask between bites. And he definitely wasn't doing that at the French Laundry.
Of course, I think in that he probably was in concurrence with about 99.9999% of Californians and people across the country. But, Pinnell, California is almost synonymous in the eyes of the nation with recalls and referenda, propositions ranging from property taxes to consumer protection. How is the precedent set by the successful recall effort of a previous governor, Gray Davis, likely to impact this recall effort?
That's a good question. I think having had Gray Davis lose in a recall as recently as 2003 makes it alarmingly real for Gavin Newsom. I mean, it's really a cautionary tale writ large. There are some differences. There's some similarities. They're both Democratic governors. They're facing possible recall. Gray Davis was incredibly unpopular at the time. He had like a 70% disapproval rate. Again, Newsom's is at 46%, so there's a gap there. However, he needs to take it seriously. I think he's been in a lot of interviews throughout the end of the year and throughout January, sort of avoiding it in that way that kids block their ears and kind of rock and say something to avoid the truth. He needs to take it seriously now. Even a Democratic consultant named Alex Acosta said that he needs to really start taking this seriously and put together a recall committee. I don't know if he's done that at this juncture, but if he hasn't, he probably should, because they're closing in on this 1.5 million signatures.
So, Pinnell, if Newsom is successfully recalled, could the GOP put up any candidate, better than Arnold Schwarzenegger, who replaced Gray Davis and turned out to be a big disappointment to Republicans?
Yeah, Schwarzenegger was obviously a marquee choice for governor. It was, hugely novel to have such a big movie star running the state. Of course, Ronald Reagan had been the governor of California very successfully, and he was a big movie star as well. But you're right in saying that Arnold Schwarzenegger turned out to be conservative in the way I think most people feel, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts is, which is to say, not very. In lieu of, I would tell you this: there are two guys who've come out of the gate already and declared in case of a recall. One is John Cox. He already ran for governor and lost, so you could say at least he has that experience. He's very a passionate guy. He was, I think, a Trump supporter. He's come out early In fact, he's already made some TV ads bashing another Republican who has declared, who's Kevin Faulconer. He was the previous or former mayor of San Diego, and Cox's ad is trying to smear him as corrupted in the same way that Newsom is. So he's sort of tied those two guys together. So it's already, even before they've collected the signatures, it's already becoming a serious race and hotly contested.
Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Mark Angelides, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Scott Cosenza, and this is Liberty Nation.
Now let's take a look at the LibertyNation.com electoral leaderboard. It's still 238 for Joe Biden.
What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unraveling the hottest political issues of the day and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics?
Impeach 45!
Only where freedom of speech is honored can people who look, sound, or think differently be truly free.
If you're discussing something that's difficult, the probability that you're not going to offend each other is zero.
President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is now president.
With one click, Liberty Nation delivers tomorrow's news.
And remember, liberty.
Today.
All the time and everywhere.
LibertyNation.com